Good afternoon, everyone. It's Friday and it's Peugeot day. So Peugeot, there we go. And it's a little 207 2011, and this is a 1.4 HDI. So the customer's complaint with this was when you put the key on, it doesn't say economy mode, it says engine fault, stop immediately. So nothing flashing at the moment, that's because it's in the battery low mode, but I'll let you see the codes. So the codes are a P11B2, measurement of the EGR exchange bypass position, short circuit to positive, a B14A alpha, EGR, 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 and we need glow plugs. So we need to attack the EGR valve. So we looked at all data just to figure out where this was. And you see it says there that you've got to remove the integrated upper air intake and the fuel filter. And it's down the back. So it's in the UK, it's at the passenger side, down the right hand side looking at the engine. So there's all the gubbins there. Let's hope it's not got a heat exchanger. I would think it would have. And we get this thing out. Now, everybody knows you can clean them up and put them back in, and they may work for a little while. But it's false economy, because once they start giving you trouble, it will come back. So there's our instructions there, so I'm going to point out where it is. So the EGR valve, we believe, is down the back there. So remove the battery and the air intake and the fuel filter. I think it's down that side. Anyway, let's go for it. In fact, we actually done a bi-directional test on the scan tool, so let's go into, no, it's no special functions. Let's go into actuation test. Okay. Yes, of course I've read the fault codes. We go into test with engine stopped. Miscellaneous tests. And we go into EGR valve test. And we'll listen. There is some movement, but it's very squeaky. Oh, I can hear that. Right, so that's the test stop. So we'll go back again. I'll turn the microphone round. I've just turned the microphone round, so go EGR valve test. We'll start it. It's down this side. I'm at the wrong side. Down there, isn't it? So we've done our bi-directional test, and it's actually, you don't have to remove the fuel filter, not unless it's got two EGR valves, but there it's here. So when we put a stethoscope on, i.e. a screwdriver, this is the item that's moving here. So the other way of doing it is clear the codes, disconnect it and see if it comes back. You want to listen to that, Mama? Right. In fact, you got a long screwdriver, that's actually better. So Dr. Roddy's ready to diagnose it. That's it, eh?
Clicking away.
Yep.
Oh, it's squealing.
Squealing.
That.
Dry, it's like drier, it'll be muck.
Aye, it could be a whale though. It sounds like a whale.
A whale? A whale in Scotland. So we've disconnected the multi-plug on the EGR valve, and I cleared out the rest of the codes, and you can see the one that comes back is a P405 measurement of EGR valve position. So we're definitely on the right one. What we're worried about is if we had another EGR valve, but I think this one's too old to have a high pressure and a low pressure. So we need to get this off. Now we must say this is quite the most difficult EGR we've had to remove. It is absolutely solid, so we're trying to go back and forward to release it. But oh. So we've tried to go side to side like that, hint it with a bar, so we've got some movement on it, but oh. It's bad, it's solid. There's a new one arrived from our suppliers. So you can see it's just held in with two bolts. And we thought that was dowels, but it's just part of the casting. So there's nothing really to this, but I think it's just carboned up and it's jamming it for coming out, just like when you remove an injector. So it's just, that's the lot that holds it in. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was horrendous to remove. Had to get a pry bar in it with D-block and just wiggle it back and forward and try and get underneath it. Oh dear. It's still not coming out.
Yeah, it's coming a bit there.
I'll wiggle it. Oh, that was man's job. Oh dear. Oh, look at it. Therein lies the problem. Look at it. It's a rubber seal, aye. Once we managed to prise it up a little bit and get the rubber seal up, then we got the D block in there. So that helped it.
That's why you come back for it.
Aye, is that not even moving? No.
I'll not move it with the motor.
Oh, that's true. There's the stuff we use there. D block by Innotech. So there it's there, removed. So the mating surface looks fine. But you have to be very careful doing this job. We were scared that it would crack the cast onto the cooler section. So just pop it in and see how it goes. So that's everything back together. The car has been started, but now we need to tell it it's got a new EGR valve fitted. So for this procedure, well, we'll read fault codes first of all. So we're all good. Then we go into special function, pack reparation, replacement parts. So here we go, change of EGR valve. So we'll go for that. Switch off ignition. Okay. Switch it on again. Okay. Learning completed. That was faultless. So back again, back again, back again. Read fault codes. So it says failure of first initialization. So it's actually created the code P14A7. So we'll start the car. In fact, what we'll do, we'll clear the code. Clear the memory code. Okay. Yes. So it's 72991. Okie dokie. Go again. So read fault codes. So with no trouble codes, let's start her up. So good news, we've not got any light on the dash and it's not got any stop engine immediately. So we'll go back again, read the fault codes, no trouble codes. And just for our learning, we'll go and do the actuation test on the EGR valve. So back into our actuation test, EGR valve test, start it. Oh, that sounds smoother. So we'll call that a fix, and the glow plugs have been changed as well. So all good. Have a nice weekend.